Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
Okay, everybody. Hey, welcome back to another strain review. We have got this. I mean, we always say it, but this one, woo, boy.
Well, this episode, I guess you could say, is brought to you by an audience member named Tyler. And Tyler just so happened to send us this really delicious gram of, well, I'll let you tell us what we're puffing on today, Jesse.
Well, we're going to be puffing on bitter orange today. It sounds as good as it actually smells,
Which
it's
is
pretty
delicious.
good. Oh,
It
yeah,
smells fantastic.
well, there's a lot of flavor on this. So what we're doing is we've done it today in a dab.
It's a live resin batter.
And it's amazing. This is a hybrid strain. It's more on the sativa side. It's sativa leaning. 60-40% is kind of what the information that you can find out there. But what really takes it up a notch is that this stuff is actually pretty strong. So a little dab will do you.
Yeah, I was quite pleasantly surprised with this because we've been rocking a lot of like Durban poison and concentrates and cheetah piss, which is fantastic. But the experience just this kind of I'd say it blew it out of the water there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and it's really hard to do too because, with wax, it's a little bit easier. Any type of concentrates you're looking at, I don't know. I mean, they always feel like they're going to just either rock your socks or it's just going to be, I don't know. I haven't really had a bad dab. Have you? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Take it back. Remember Tyler? And he
Yeah,
brought that
different
garbage.
Tyler than
Yeah.
what this episode is sponsored
Our
by.
Tyler on this episode, he is the man. He is super cool. He's been emailing us. He's such a cool guy, bringing us into his life. But no, tell us about Tyler.
Yeah, so the terrible dab that I have had also came from a Tyler who is an ethnobotanist and studied all this stuff and then decided to make his own dabs at home, which the only way I can describe it is if you've ever seen RSO oil where it's just pure black.
Black.
That's what it looked like. And I was like, this is, and he's like, oh no, but you have to try it. And I did had a dab straw and just touched a little bit to it. And I was like, it's like someone taking a dump in your mouth. It was garbage flavor because there was no good flavor. The experience wasn't great either. So
Garbage
it was just
flavor.
horrendous. But today from FloraCal Farms, bitter oranges, well, I mean, it's fantastic. And this, I will say the live batter, the bit that I've been testing in my Dr. Dabber switch, my favorite thing is I don't have to raise my temperature at all to burn off the concentrate. It will go through the entire concentrate at a crazy low level.
What temperature are you rocking the Dr. Dabber at?
I don't know because it doesn't actually give me temperature, but I like to do it with this one about 2 into it's like a lighter blue color.
Okay.
And that's where I like to start with it just because it's super low, it doesn't burn it, and I get amazing flavors.
Well, I will tell you this, like I tried it before on the Dr. Dabber. I loved it. The Dr. Dabber gives it such a great use. I mean, it's so, I'm going to go into this. I like the Utilian in some ways, but when it comes to experience, the size of that Dr. Dabber is not without its purpose. It is a well-designed, very good dabbing where it really takes your dab that much further, as opposed to like mine, it just burns and burns and burns and burns and burns
You don't
until
get the same temp control.
no,
Yeah.
or I don't get the same like hit control. Like I warm it up when I need a hit. It doesn't just keep running.
The nice thing, this isn't keeping heat at this time though. It just stays live and then I just push
Yeah.
the button. It heats up fast though. That's why I bought the Dr. Dabber Switch because at the time, for me, it was the best device for concentrates for my use and consumption.
Yeah.
because I like to, probably like many of you, if you're using a device, you're probably not wanting to switch between a ton of different devices throughout the day. Usually, if I'm using a day, I'm either probably rocking a pen, unfortunately, but that's because that's what my choice for that day is. I'm probably either rocking my Dr. Dabber Switch or like the Venti right now because Jesse swapped me. And so I feel like I'm almost doing one device for the entire day, is kind of how my experience typically goes, is that I'll go, hey, today, like, this is just what I'm doing, and so
Right.
this one for me, the battery lasts all day long. Whereas a lot of the other ones, it would be dead halfway through or a third of the way through the day. And I'm like, I can't even use it at the same time as I'm charging it. This one, I can also charge it and use it, but the battery lasts for days. So I'm usually pretty solid.
Well, and I like how it actually it doesn't burn the whole time. My Utilium will go for 90 seconds and it's just on that temp for 90 seconds. And I'm having to hit that thing to make sure that I keep up with it. So I'm taking like 5, 6 hits off of it
A
and
lot
then
of
it kicks.
dabs.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily what I want to do. I want the flavor there, and that the flavor that comes from that one, and there are other ones out there too. I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm going to bring back my milk jug. You remember that one? I'm gonna put the other dab rig, my Utilian 8, off to the side because, oh, that got you.
It did get me. Holy shit. The terps in this one do kind of get me.
Oh yeah.
Um, but once I cough it out, I'm good. That's what I like with a dab is you get it and then it's good and you're like, okay, I'm fine now. Um,
Well, and it's interesting you bring that up. So I am going for a goal. The only time that I'm ever going to use flame to flower is going to be when we do a strain review with flower, and we use it with
oh, okay.
Jetson.
Yeah.
I am using a vaporizer for the rest of the month of January. And
Okay.
here's a reason why, and this is kind of maybe you're at this point. I was coughing a lot, and I can understand those who have concentrates, love it. I love that one. Sometimes I'll do the pen because just like you said, that's what I'm picking for that day. We found some amazing eddies that are awesome, that last a long time, feel great, but it's still not the same. A dab and
Yeah.
flower, it's awesome. And you guys know this. Like, I know people that smoke joints every day, have so for years. Bravo to them. For me, it is starting to wreck my lungs. It feels rough. So,
Yeah,
um,
I couldn't do joints every day. Honestly, like
oof,
it's fine every once in a blue moon with friends or something, or like if I'm out hiking, but I still feel it. I'm inhaling straight fire into my lungs, like, you know. So, and that's some people's cup of tea. Like they love it. They're like, "Oh, this is a fantastic experience," and that's what they go for. But at the same time, I'm like, I really, I'm like you. Like I've kind of gone away from more flame to flower. I do it on the show when we do George Jetson and we're testing out a
hmm
flower through there. But most of the time, I am probably going towards a concentrate or, a vaporizer. I've really liked the fact that I can save the decarbed flower, turn it
Yep.
into a tincture, a lotion, anything that I need.
Edibles. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And I'm like, I can multi-purpose that, still get the experience off the other, and I don't feel like I'm coughing as often. So, you
Dude,
know,
you know what the trigger was for me? Like when we'd be recording
hmm
and I breathe in like that.
and you hear the raspies.
Yeah, I go,
I hate
and
that.
I'm like, because all of a sudden I think I'm like that quintessential white trash lady from Florida who's wearing a wife beater. It's got stains all over booty shorts, but she's so damn skitty. And she's talking to the cops with her hand on her hip and the
Yep,
cigarette in the
yep.
other hand. That's how I feel when I start coughing like that. And so I eliminated that one. And
Yeah.
I tell you, my wife she's so happy because I was coughing even in the middle of the night. And
Yeah, you're
so
saying
now
while you were sleeping.
yeah, while I was sleeping, I would wake up with a cough. So, but here's the cool part. Now, I've been off of, I mean, I only smoked flower once this last weekend.
Yeah.
And that was it for me. I'm like, okay, because I love my little, MJ Arsenal little bong. That
Oh
thing is
yeah.
great. But it doesn't hold a candle to the perks that you get in the jet filtration. Now, I know there's a lot of other bongs that are making the same claims, but for us right now, what we've tried, that one's
It's what we've
awesome.
been loving. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've had that for like well over a year. We love it. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. And that's the thing that I'm thinking about is that, right now with the new year coming on, maybe give yourself a little break from flame to flower if you have the opportunity. Real cool thing is, though, we're making so many different partnerships this year that we're hoping to be able to give away product all the time and have it
Yeah.
sent out to you. So the more you guys can get involved, the more we can start sending out, the more companies want to jump on. But I'll tell you, man, having a vaporizer, even if you're getting like one of those, like from Planet of the Vapes, the little ones, like the one,
Oh yeah.
or any of the other
X
ones.
Vapes. X Vapes has several that are like 70 to $100. They're fantastic too.
Air Vapes has a great
Yeah.
program. If you've got an old crappy one, or you've got one that you've been burning for a while,
Ooh,
dude, they'll
plus
give you
there's
credit for it.
and their steampunk edition looks really cool. I
Oh,
love the
dude,
styles on that.
I love that one.
Yep.
You got the black. I got that steampunk one, and I love it.
hmm
But at the same time, like when you
Dry
look
herb
at that,
January. There you
oh,
go.
dude, dry herb January, because that's it really is like it's a night and day difference. But what I love about this, bro, and it's what you've talked about so many times in the past, and it's what I've thought about all the time, knowing that your lungs actually heal a lot faster after you've stopped burning fire going into
Yeah.
your lungs, it heals pretty quickly
Yeah, the
compared to
bronchial
like
effects.
smokers.
Well, because smokers, that bronchial effects of a cigarette smoker's cough will never go away. However, if you stop burning cannabis plant and inhaling it, the bronchial effects that can happen from that will go away. So it's very different, looking at it going, oh, well, like the tars and stuff, you still get carcinogens if you're going flame to
Hmm.
flower. Um, and so obviously another benefit to going to dryer vaporizers is you don't get the carcinogens. You're baking it. Dude, I was looking at the box on this. I'm
Oh,
surprised. It says it's only got 67% THCA. So here's my other thought, though, and I'm kind of thinking out loud. It says it's got 18% THC. THCA, we know when you put heat on it, the A drops off and it just becomes THC. Now, what does THC become if the A's already dropped and you heat it up to the same temp? Does it change compound then? Or is in turn this really about you know, 90% THC. If so, that's totally great. That's fantastic. It's just,
I don't know. I mean, the other part too that I'm thinking about is that, and it's a lot of other, consumers will talk about it, and I'm not trying to say true consumers, just a little bit more informed. The high THC doesn't always mean a great
no,
experience. And I was that documentary I was telling you about. I was watching that one. One of the coolest things was there was this grower out in California. They harvest every week. They don't do massive, massive grows. And he said, and here's the reason why. You got those massive grows that are going on, and they're boxing up tons of cannabis. Guess what you're getting in a year? You're getting that same cannabis that was picked a year ago.
oh yeah,
And so this guy's like, you're going to get the freshest cannabis. Every week we're picking. We don't do that. And he's like, and I have always made money. I have always made money for years. And this is one of those like, um, it's kind of funny because on the show,
hmm
like every time they bring like a old was it drug war veteran? That's what they all call themselves. It's so awesome, and they're old dudes with like long hair and ponytails, shorts, and flip
that's
flops,
hilarious.
and they're like, "My name is." Jesse motherfucking Angelus. Like it's always motherfucking is the middle name, right? And it's so funny. But they talk about that. Like you've got all these corporatized cannabis curators and growers and whatever, and they still put out a subpar product, and that there is still a really decent sized market for those more craft grows. And I would consider
100%.
more of like what Dragonfly does here in Utah. That's more of a grow on the Dragonfly side because I know it's high in THC, but dude, the experience I get with those ones is very consistent. I can't say the same about others. I just can't.
Even with the Cannabis School approved approach with dispensaries and that, we got a response back today on one that was just, it was funny because they were like, oh, you should do an episode on how, big farms are putting out shitty products and all these craft farms are going out. And it's like, well, I mean, are they though? Because at the end of the day, the consumer, they're definitely going to notice a difference between the craft one that's got really good terps, high terps, and an amazing experience, and a really, I mean, toilet water, hot dog water, whatever you want to call
Yeah, the
it.
toilet water.
And looking at it and going, oh, well, it's cheap. I mean, it might be, but at the end of the day, I will always pick that better experience over the bottom dollar because I've learned that the bottom dollar is not the experience that I want. It's not the cleanest experience. It's not even a good lasting experience. It's just leaving me wanting more, going, God, I wish I had bought something better.
Yeah, but I mean, if you survived off fast food for a real long time and the real fancy food gives you diarrhea because it's just too good, I mean, maybe it's the
Is
same
that a thing?
case. Like,
I agree.
yeah, oh yeah, maybe for them they're just like, you know what, if I have high quality cannabis, because like for us now, like back in the day, dude, when we were just puffing on bangers all the time,
Yeah, but I would have
not.
loved any other quality
Oh yeah,
experience that came through that was better. You could tell instantly because it was like the higher quality flowers when they came
yeah.
through, or even like the half gram of live resin that I got from Montana. And it was like, oh, it was like bitter oranges or um, bitter orange. Same type of higher quality experience,
Oh man,
you know.
because the bitter orange, and I know we've gone so far into other things, but I'll pull it back. What I really love about bitter orange is that the experience, it slaps you pretty quickly. I mean, it's almost instantaneous to feel. The
Yeah,
Durban, the Durban takes a little bit,
it's a
and then
creeper.
yeah, but it slowly goes up. This one hockey
Yeah.
sticks.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
almost
It's
instantly.
instantaneously, yeah.
Hits the bronchioles and
But it's a very like happy, uplifted,
oh
energetic
yeah.
kind of strain.
And it lasts
Um,
a while, but it's very calming too. For a
yeah,
sativa, it's super calming.
it's a pretty well, it comes from wedding cake and Mimosa V6. Now I've had Mimosa,
Yeah,
um,
I've had mimosa.
but I haven't had Mimosa V6. And obviously we love wedding cake still. That's a
That's
fan
an old
favorite. Yeah.
standby, yeah.
So that one's fantastic. I do notice that I get a good amount of cottonmouth um,
With what? With bitter orange?
with bitter orange. I
That's
do.
weird. I don't
Yeah,
at all.
really.
Not at
Um,
all.
I don't experience dry eyes, just dry mouth. And it's not the center of my tongue, it's
Okay.
everywhere around it. Kind of remember the other one that was like it was dry just in the center? This is like reverse, where it feels like
Yes.
it's wet in the center of my tongue and the
Hmm.
rest of my mouth is drier.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
yeah. No, no. Now you're talking about it, it is the center of my tongue is dry. That's why I don't notice as much because the rest of my mouth is totally fine. And that's the strange thing about this strain. It's super delicious. It's very danky. I mean, it's dank. You open up that
Yeah.
little jar, it's just like whap, slap in the face, and you're like,
I had the hardest time not just blowing through it in like a day because oh my gosh, this stuff is fantastic. So,
oh yeah, you can go through
Tyler,
it quick.
thank you so much. This has been
Yeah,
delicious,
man.
an amazing experience, and I hope at home dabbing along with us.
Oh,
Um,
so good.
yeah,
So good. It's really rare to be able to come across something this defining to us. And again, I mean, there's so much product out there and somebody's out there going, "You ain't tried this shit. That's why you fucking don't know."
I don't know if I pick out any note that isn't really citrusy on it. Like it's just a very,
Mild. But it's bitter orange. It's like if you had orange slices and you were
yeah.
biting into it and you accidentally bit into the rind a little bit, it's
You
not
just get that
bad.
little tiny spray of
Yeah.
citrus. Yeah.
That's so awesome, right? The flavor, the limonene that's probably in this, the amounts of limonene have got to be pretty decently high.
I would imagine because it's
Well, you do know
I,
that orange, so we talk about lemon juice having a good amount of limonene in there. Lime has a little bit more. Orange rind has the most limonene in any plant.
yeah, that's quite wild.
That's the
Um,
rind.
yeah. How much
So
does the orange itself within have in comparison, do you know? Was that in your study when
it's
you looked
pretty
that up?
minimal. So the
Okay.
orange itself isn't very high. The juice is not very high because it's just a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at limes and lemons, you could even mix both of
Interesting.
those together, and you could have yourself a really cheap version of Sprite. But you're like, oh,
Really tart version of
hmm
Sprite.
oh, dude, you get heartburn if you try to drink that whole bottle. I always think that. Could you imagine like those people who drink like a whole bottle of lemon juice as a dare? Or like on Super
Oh,
Troopers when they were drinking maple syrup
that'd be
in the
so hard.
oh,
I can't imagine. Even like that much sugar. Oh, like
I'd be going
no.
to the hospital with my ass.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that sounds like just pure garbage.
That does not sound
No.
fun. It sounds horrible.
Oh,
It sounds
yeah.
absolutely horrible.
I don't know. What's been your guys' favorite strains flavor wise?
Mm,
Not experience,
just
just
flavor.
flavor. Um,
Ooh. What's a
because
second for you, dude?
well, I was gonna say, unfortunately, they're both in this very similar strain of orange, and it's also been a live rosin because it was a live rosin from Montana, and it was chocolate oranges or orange chocolate, and that again,
Mm,
most delicious flavor and terpenes and notes I have ever tasted. This one is next. Just fantastic. So maybe it's the grower, maybe it's the care that they take in it, maybe it's just the live rosin batter is just always that much better. Because I know every true live rosin that I've had has just I have not had anything below incredible with a live rosin for the
agreed.
experience. Um,
Agreed.
Even in the like third of a gram of a cart one, every live rosin experience has been well worth it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd write it home to my mom about it. So,
Mm, yeah, all about your mom. I would say that Tropicana Cherries goes right below this one. This would be my top tasty strain I've had in Dab.
mm-hmm.
Um, in flower, I would say key lime.
Yep, that's exactly
Key
what I
lime,
was
dude.
gonna say.
So good. It
Nothing
tastes
beats
like
that
tequila shots,
flavor.
smoking
Yeah,
tequila shots, like, but not
legit,
a
just like
horrible
the
taste.
key lime.
Oh,
It was so incredible. And
it
in
was like they,
flower.
oh my
Mm,
gosh. If you
yeah.
guys have that near you, you guys need to comment on that. How good is your key lime? Because
Oh,
we need to find that again.
in live rosin. I would love to try that
I will
flavor
say this.
profile.
I had this live rosin. It was a lemon strain,
Mm-hmm.
but it was in a saucepan that was given to me years
Mm,
ago. I think it was 3 years ago. Oh, dude, I went through that pen in like 4 days. For
I
me,
believe it. That's
it's
fast.
super fast, dude. Dude, I've still got old bangers
I know.
chilling
It
in my
it
box.
blows my mind when you're like, I've got this strain, and I'm like, that's what? Like,
Well, back in the day, I mean, we were getting so many of those cards, I couldn't go through all of them. You were like, dude, I'll eat your food. Like you're that guy over there, like scraping somebody else's plate and licking it. And me, I'm like, oh, I'm on a diet. Just have that little bit with some,
oh,
but,
I'll just nibble
but,
on the corner. Can I smell
but if it's
yours?
salad, if it's grass, it's gone. Like
Mm,
I'll smoke it all. But it's weird, dude. Like I think just that the nature of the toilet water.
yeah.
And it
So
depends.
this
Hot dog
little
water
dab,
is yeah.
that one little dab that I put in there lasted that long. It was that many times going through the Dr. Dabber at the same temp. I didn't have to turn it up once. And so the flavor was the same the whole way through from start to finish.
Wow.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's what I loved with this dab was just the concentrate is a better concentrate because I noticed that with like some of the lower grade ones, I get a lot left or I have to turn it way high to try and burn off the next
Mm-hmm.
layer of concentrate and that it's like, yeah, this stuff burns off so low and so smooth and it literally is left with like nothing in there. That's yeah, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, I have a little bit that I wipe off on my atomizer, and that's
Hmm.
it. Like it's so small. That's what I love about that Dr. Dabber.
Oh yeah.
How much more you got there?
This is
Oh,
my
you're gonna do it
last
now,
of
huh?
bitter oranges. Well, I'm just I'm really it's it's enough for another little set of dabs like that. So it's not a lot, but it is
You
it's
know
worth it.
you know you're very courteous to your dad when you scrape that container that you have, like down to even to the point, dude, I've got like this cheetah piss sitting in this old jar and it's just like coated inside of there. And I just want to like boil some water and have some tongs and hold it over it so it can all pool into one little
That's
corner.
hilarious, right? Just
Remember
heat it
that?
up with a blowtorch.
Dude, well, the thing too is
Oh, heat
funny. I was just thinking
blow
about,
dryer.
remember the blow dryer, right?
Yeah.
Taking two carts, turning off the other one, putting it over there.
All right. So for
How many of you guys have done that?
yeah, it was like, what has been the weirdest, jankiest thing that you guys have done when it comes to cannabis? Like, I know first days of concentrates with pens, carts would just burn out or be pure garbage. It wouldn't even work.
We'd
And then
blink them and turn it dark brown.
I'm trying to like open the lid and pour it into another one or use the tiny little syringes you could buy with them and try and suck it up and put it into another one.
Yeah, but you had to heat it up in order to suck it up out of there.
Yep.
So
Oh
you're
man.
putting a blow dryer over there, burning your hand half the time because the glass is so hot.
Yeah, I got to the point that I was just like, ooh, needle nose pliers are fantastic. I'll hold the bottom, heat it up,
Drip it
use the
in.
little syringe. Okay, that's great. Now I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to mess with any of that.
That's a couple
So,
of things like the Phantom, right? The honeycomb,
oh, yeah. Hmm.
that one where it can do concentrates, but I like it on the other side because it has its own like container that you can fill.
I was going to ask you, how easy is that to clean, or how do you clean that? Because I was
Which one?
the Phantom.
Oh, that's easy. Drop the whole thing in ISO.
Oh, okay. That's all I wondered. Yeah.
Meh. You
Easy
don't
enough.
have to, the bottom part, you don't need to put in there, the one that
Yeah.
connects. But everything else, I just drop it in
Oh,
ISO and
that's
I swish it
fantastic.
around.
Yeah.
I'll even put some salt in there in like a glass container with a lid and just shake it around,
Hmm.
pour it out, rinse it off, let it dry
I think, oh, there we go. There we go. I just had to leave it in there for, um,
to melt it all off.
yeah, just a little bit because this stuff is like, it's so tasty and so good. It almost feels like a sin. And I don't use that word lightly.
You have to scrape it, dude. It's like hearing somebody scrape cereal out of their bowl on the side.
I'm
Like,
like,
dude,
I just want to
let go of
save
those dino nuggets.
every little bit of this delicious morsel. It's been
No.
fantastic. Honestly, this strain has been, um, it's not overly like crazy relaxing, but it's just
No.
it's happy, it's nice. It takes the edge off my pain. Um, Speaking of, dude, the edibles, I've been rocking at least 200 milligrams every single day, except for today, because I'm like, I don't, my tolerance just goes like that, and it's already really high. Um, so, uh, I just that has gotten I've had no pain. It's been fantastic. I
Dude,
legit my dad called me this morning. He's like, "Oh, how's your back?" And I was like, Actually really nice. It's been really weird, but I've been he's like, "Oh, you're using CBD?" And I'm like, "No, I'm using a lot more edibles and CBD." Like it's the combination, the pairing of the two that's really helped. Um, but it's just
oh,
been
and speaking of CBD, we just had a new company reach out to us. We won't give them any love yet, but we're trying them out. Pretty good so far. I like the quality, but I'm telling you, dude, like something like this,
I mean,
I
yeah.
concentrates are just they're where it's at, man. So it's it's dab and dry herb January. But it could be any time. I know some people that
Sure.
only love dab, only do dab,
Honestly, no, I still love. It'd be so hard to never use flower. It's
or
been my
even
favorite for
carts.
so long. Well, honestly, if I had
They
a
all
good
have their
enough
place in time.
concentrate and I was a nice enough dose everywhere, it wouldn't matter. If I used that in edibles, I'd be like, I'm fine. I took a nice dab. I'm rocking a nice edible. Like, I'll be good till I get back most of the time. But there are times that I'm out for like hours and hours and hours that I'm just like, fuck, I hurt.
Yeah.
I have to use something because I just hurt so much. So,
Or you're ready to go out for hours and hours around other people, and you're like, "Ah, fuck, I just need something to get me through that."
yeah, because sometimes it's like there's a lot of people, especially the holiday time. The holiday time was crazy. Like, there's just going out. I don't know where you guys are, but where we're at, it's crazy busy. You go out around holiday time, and it's like 10 times the amount of people everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
And so it just feels super busy. And I actually noticed this year, though, um, that I left my headphones home more because I wanted to try and just enjoy the the sounds of everything and just enjoy being present with life. And I was like, because there was one day and I was like, I had a nice edible and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the store. I'll get my headphones. This will be fantastic. I'll have some nice tunes. Be like I'm in my own universe. And I'm like, but why? Why do like couldn't I just be in a good mood and enjoy it anyway? Like I again, like it's all these times of going, we don't realize what triggers or irritates us or gets annoys us, and I'm like, I could go out and choose to just enjoy it, and I did. I went to the store. It was around the holiday time. It was busy as hell. I walk in and I was nice and elevated, and I was just had a smile on, wandered around, got my stuff, wasn't irritated or annoyed, but I just like watched how busy and the hustle and the bustle of everything. And I just, it was a very different experience than it is when I'm so feeling overwhelmed or that just because of whatever stress and that in life that I'm like, I don't want to go to the store and be surrounded by people. I want to feel like I'm, like I still have my own space and
Right.
that, and then I was like, but, I think it's these last couple months, my stress has shifted and changed. Um, and I think that's maybe us having a lot more direction, and structure
Yeah.
of where we're going and just plans for everything. And honestly, you guys were super excited. Cannabis School approved. It should be up. It might be up this week. So,
Yeah,
uh,
it'll probably be up towards the end of this week or early next week, but
so
man, I'm super excited about it. Just the amount that we can be able to give everybody because we just want to provide a shitload of resources for you so you guys can constantly be in the know. I mean,
yeah,
our podcast, I know you guys can listen over and over and over, but where do you want to go? What dispensary you want to? You need to get a medical card and you don't know who to go to. We're going to be building that out pretty quickly. So, guys, we appreciate the hell out of you.
I
Thanks
love you guys.
for
Thanks for
sitting
tuning
with
in.
us, having a little sesh with us. We know you're chilling and smoking with us. And if you're not, well, that's okay. Eddies are great too.
It's
But
true. Hey, and Tyler, thank you so much.
dude, thank you.
Appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Appreciate you, bro. That was so kind of you. We really appreciate that. Giving you mad love and keep the emails coming, bro.
Yeah. And for everyone at home, tune in next week. Catch you then.
Take care.